Alas, there are no Tweety bird sounds this time to cover up my whistling teeth, just the echoey kitchen. Thank goodness I have Pat Session Services to sort out the audio to make it less echoey for you. I sit here back at my kitchen table, having had a wonderful time in France for my birthday. Thank you for all the bon anniversaire wishes. It was wonderful. Though I ate far too much cheese, I'm definitely lactose intolerant, but no regrets. It was wonderful. And I'm sitting here looking out the window at a for sale sign. My house is for sale. Big and I are leaving Aberdeen and hitting the open road for a bit of van life, which is very exciting. So should anybody want a magical little cottage by the sea, literally on Aberdeen Beach with leopard print carpets and rainbow staircases and leopards climbing the kitchen walls, get on it, because the house is on the market. Big is out there weeding the garden, and we've got viewing starting tonight. It's very, very exciting that this chapter is drawing to a close. But I'll tell you what else is exciting. This wonderful conversation with Tanya Bardsley. It's an absolute legend. Could have chatted to her all day. She shares her late discovery of ADHD, her safari with treatment, her battles with addiction, how she supports her family, and just her brilliant activism, which I doth my cap to. Much respect, Tanya, and much gratitude for her giving me her time, which she is going to give to me again in person at Flaxstock Festival. So if you didn't know, we've only gone and got our own tent. Myself and Steph are ADHD AF Emporium, and we have got our own tent at Flaxstock Festival this year. So Steph will be in charge of selling all the Disco's wares alongside Working Class and some other designers, which I will share very soon, sharing their handmade creations and wonderful festival accessories in this tent, alongside a full lineup of wonderful ADHD AF guests, which I have curated. I will share full details in due course, but there will be DJs, karaoke, obviously there'll be ADHD AF bingo, and a whole host of podcast legends joining me for a day of ADHD awareness in ADHD AF Emporium, our own tent at Flaxstock Festival, which is the festival in honour of Caroline Flack, raising funds for Caroline's favourite charities and raising crucial mental health awareness. And I'm so excited that Tanya will be joining me there, where I will interview her again live on stage. But for now, I will share with you this wonderful conversation with Tanya. I hope you enjoy. Hi, I'm Laura, and I am ADHD AF. Though blatantly obvious, the late discovery, diagnosis and treatment at 38 for severe combined type ADHD in 2022 not only improved, but genuinely saved my life, which I have since dedicated to fighting for change amidst the global ADHD crisis. As the acronym suggests, I swear like a sailor, and each episode will contain sensitive subject matter. So please always read the description before diving in, where you will also find a link to resources for support. These crucial conversations with experts by lived experience are shared to inform, validate, shame eradicate, and unite the ADHD community, with a fair few laughs along the way. I've been labelled too much all my life, but finally I celebrate my too muchness and use my justice sensitivity to let the world know that ADHD presents differently in each individual. Self-diagnosis is valid, and that ADHD is not a trend. ADHD is real. And I want all ADHDers of all genders to know you are not alone. The leopard is a symbol of Aberdeen, Scotland, where this podcast began. It also symbolises bravery, the reclaiming of power, and I'm a total hum. So leopard print has become the uniform of the ADHD AF community, uniting to support each other and push for change, which together we can make happen. We are the leopard print army. Hear us roar. Hi, Tanya.
Hello, how are you?
Thank you so much for joining me. How are you doing?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
So you are my first interview of season 3.
Woo! Amazing.
Yeah, it's really exciting. So I've got new questions to ask you. So hopefully we won't run over time. And if we do, you can just tell me to shut up and we'll just move on. The time blindness is real, but I'll try.
Oh, God, I know. I always say, like, I have like either, oh God, like about 40 hours in the day, or I have 40 minutes. There's no in between.
Exactly that. Right. Okay. So we will dive straight into it. You look lovely, by the way. That colour really suits you.
I'd put makeup on for you.
I did as well. Right. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off with some quick fire questions and try and be quick fire about it. But it's usually me that takes us off piste anyway, but we'll try. And then we'll dive into the full question. So name.
Tanya.
Pronouns.
Her.
Age, if you want to share it.
42, nearly 43.
Location.
Wilmslow, Cheshire.
Were you born there?
No, I was born in Wigan. So I'm half Wigan, half Scouse, and my dad's a Scouser. So yeah, but I never lived there. Oh, I'm doing ADHD thing. It's not quick, is it? Yeah, my dad's in the army. So it doesn't matter. Carry on.
We've done it already. Occupation.
Oh, I struggle with this. I'm a proper ADHD. I've got so many things that I do. I mean, my main one, life coach.
Favorite film?
Oh God, Taken.
Oh, that's a good one.
I don't know where that came from.
It's a great film. Favorite animal?
Bulldogs.
Dopamine dresser or calming casuals? Do you like bright colours and flashy patterns, or are you more of a chilled?
I'm both.
Yeah.
I'm really both.
What city in the world are you most like?
Vegas.
Oh, I love it. That's a good one. Planning, love it or loathe it?
It depends. If I'm planning something that I want to do, love it. if it's not, if it's like planning taking the kids to football, hate it.
Yeah, absolutely. What is your ADHD diagnosis status? So are you medically diagnosed, self-diagnosed?
Medically diagnosed, yeah.
Okay. And was it early or late?
Very late, 6 weeks before I was 40, and it came as a shock. I got accidentally diagnosed by a psychiatrist.
Oh my goodness. Would you say that was traumatic?
Traumatic? No, it was life-changing. It just made everything make sense.
Okay, brilliant. Let's dive in. So you've kind of given that one away, but let's see. What led you to suspect that you had ADHD? Was it just this person diagnosing you, or had you suspected before that point?
No, completely hadn't suspected whatsoever. Never really heard of many women having it. Because I think it's that thing of I never looked for it either. I just thought I struggled with mental health badly. I had postnatal depression. I was always anxious all my life, which that inner restlessness, I didn't realise. I was my hyperactivity inside all the time. I was always on edge. And which led to, so my ADHD burnouts that I now know it was, I just took as depression, because when you look at depression, you can't get out of bed. You've got no zest for life.
You've lost interest in the things you love, like nothing lights you up.
Yeah. You don't feel connected to the world. You feel different. And then I was having really dark thoughts because I was hyper-focusing on bad things, which I didn't realise. Yeah, I'm exactly the same, right down to the burnout bit. When I started this podcast, I used to say, I had a nervous breakdown at 35. And it's like, oh no, that was intense burnout. That's what that was, you know? Yeah.
Why do you think ADHD was missed until later in life? Not just in you. Obviously, we know the stereotype of little boys, but the people around you, why do you think? Is because it was so internalized?
I think it's because it was so internalized, and I wasn't a problem to anyone. I wasn't disruptive. All my symptoms really were inside.
Yeah.
So my hyperactivity is inside. My brain never stopped whizzing. No one can see that.
No.
No one can see my anxious little soul. No one can. Yeah, I just wasn't a problem to anyone. Yeah, and no one really knew about it. It was just a boy thing, which they used to say they would grow out of. And I found that as a woman, my ADHD is getting worse, especially with the perimenopause. I'm in bits.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so interesting, isn't it? There's quite a lot of stuff online, like memes, where what you see, and there's like a person sitting on the sofa looking lazy in inverted commas. What you don't see is that internally their mind is going at 1,000,000 miles an hour, worrying about this and that, trying to take the next step. And being stunted. And yeah, definitely what you said, like had Dr. Nagat on a few weeks ago talking about this new research about how how hormones can exacerbate ADHD symptoms, with a lot of us going into perimenopause, menopause, postnatal. You said you experienced postnatal depression.
Yeah. Which was probably just my ADHD on a rampage.
It's terrible, isn't it? Because it's like, this is so essential that all, healthcare providers know this information so that people can get the appropriate treatment that they need. Change everything. Yeah. So what has changed for you since diagnosis? You said it was life-changing. Why is that?
Do you know, I always felt like I didn't belong, and I couldn't understand why people found life easy. And I just felt like thick. And when I got diagnosed, it was an awareness. It's like, oh God, that's what's wrong with me. There's nothing wrong with me. I've just got ADHD.
Yes.
And I always felt there's something wrong with me. Something was
like
missing.
You're doing something wrong as well. Like
yeah. And when I would be impulsive and like people would be on my case, like, why have you done that? Why? And I was like, I don't know why I did it. I don't know why. And I feel sort of whole now. And I feel proud I've got ADHD. And I'm like, you can go on, there's so many people like yourself. Like, there's my tribe. I'm not on my own. I'm part of something. Do you know what I mean?
100%. You're giving me the feel. Sorry, I've got really bad emotional dysregulation. I've now got goosebumps. Sucking in through the eyeballs. Absolutely no.
So, I feel, it's great.
Yeah, it is great. I mean, you've said that you feel that your ADHD is getting worse now. I very much relate. Like, what have you done to try and combat that? Like, do you have a treatment plan?
So I had to get rid of alcohol. I went to rehab because it's hard to get off the cycle, especially when that's just been part of most people's life. It's everywhere. Yeah. I didn't drink every day, but it was my way of quieting my mind. It was just a blowout, and it was sort of like because my brain's constant. So it was hard to get off that cycle. And as I say, it's everywhere. And then you have to change your whole life, and you think, oh, I'm missing out, or people don't want to be. And it's quite a lonely place to go when you first go sober.
100%. I did a sober 6 months for charity a few years ago, and it was really, really hard. Yeah. But it really did change my perspective. And I don't really drink now. Like when I go out, I will have a drink, but I don't go out very often. I kind of pick my battles, and that has really been life-changing, because I was bottle of wine a night kind of a girl.
Yeah. And now I've got off the cycle and I've done a year. And I would always say to people that are in my position, you have to do the year to reset, to find who you are. Because I didn't know who I was without drinking, going out. And I've got bad social anxiety, which is just probably the ADHD. And because I've just... And I think the drink, I just didn't care that I was saying things.
Until the next day, right? Until the next day. And then the anxiety will kill you. It's horrendous. I mean,
it's like a burning rage, like hot rage of anxiety. And I couldn't do it anymore. And it was making me, I was ill for 5 days after. And then I would repeat the cycle.
Yeah.
It was making me, it got to a point where I think it was last Christmas Day. I was thinking of ways just to end it, because I felt that bad. Because when I started drinking it, I just didn't know when to stop.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I think it's a really difficult one, because the alcohol is said to, again, exacerbate the symptoms. So we're more impulsive. We're more, doing all these further dopamine-seeking behaviors. But then also the other side of that is, we get a break for a minute, but actually I would literally feel like my skin was crawling the next day. If someone said, oh, state of you last night, like in a joking way, I'd be like, oh my God, please don't tell me. Like the RSD and the self-loathing through the roof. Yeah,
all the stories and everyone telling you, and oh God. And the no filter and the things I would say, or...
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So now that you have gone sober, is that something that you've just done spontaneously yourself, or have you had support in that?
No, I had to have support.
Oh, sorry, yes, you said you went to rehab. Sorry.
So I went to rehab, and my friend DJ Factone really, really helped me.
Yes.
He's amazing. Yeah, and he's got ADHD as well.
Yeah.
And addiction is so common with people with ADHD, especially undiagnosed ADHD, as is eating disorders, which luckily I've never suffered with, but I can just binge eat without realising it. And it's like, oh God, I could go on a rampage about undiagnosed ADHD.
It's impulsivity, isn't it? It's impulsivity. It's dopamine seeking. It's needing a break, like zoning out and doing something that feels nice, like 100%.
Yeah.
So he helped you in that because he's fought that battle also.
Yes. Oh, and he was really bad. He used to take a lot of drugs, and you have to read his book, but he got so bad. So he's been there, done that, and he's just been a rock to me.
That's amazing.
And he, through lockdown, he did AA. He hosted a meeting for people, and he made me
all
come
online, AA online.
It was online, yeah. And I always thought, oh, AA, God, it's like, that's just like for really bad, like scruffy alcoholics type thing. And do you know what? It's the coolest place, and you meet the coolest people, and there's like movie stars, and there's like creative people, and it's not like that. I would say just go to an AA, and if you don't like that one, just keep going, because you'll meet so many nice, like really, really cool people.
Do you go still now? Do you go once a week?
No. So in the beginning I did. They say you should do 90 days, 90 meetings in 90 days if you want to get off.
Wow.
And a lot of people, they've been going for years and years, but I just don't feel like I need to.
Yeah, and it's there if you feel like you do, hey?
Yeah, and it's there. I think I've educated myself so much on it now. I see when I have, like, if there's a glass of champagne or wine, instead of seeing it as pleasure, I see it as pain. And I play the tape forward. So I see it as pain, shame, regret, and I see it as anxiety juice. And in that glass is a glass of ruining my potential. I'm not going to get out of bed. And I've got so many things I want to do.
Yeah, absolutely. That's incredible. ADHD can tend to come with co-occurring conditions, which are often as a result of it not being identified. To build up to cope. So your comorbidity was drinking. Do you have any others, or was it
and just impulsivity, like people when I was anxious of things from drinking, and someone would say, oh, you need like this propanadol or try diazepam and stuff, I'd be like so it's so stupid, like and of course the effects of that with my undiagnosed like brain, and then of course it was the chemicals were imbalanced because the doctors had just been giving me horrific antidepressants all my life.
When did you start antidepressants?
When I was 21, when I had postnatal depression with my first daughter. Horrible things. Horrible.
Yeah, that's so
I mean, I'm still on 10 milligrams now, because when I came off, I think it was sertraline, horrific. And that's when my first big breakdown. And it was only 2 weeks after I felt fine and I came off them. Oh my God, I was spinning, falling over, crying. Like, I can't even tell you how bad it was. Suicidal, just horrific.
Bless you. It's awful, isn't it? Because the point is like, if you can see somebody that is depressed or is anxious or has all of these symptoms, then logically speaking, the thing to do would be to ask more questions, because actually they could just be the co-occurring conditions, and then you could hit the root cause. Yeah,
well, our NHS is a bit broken at the minute. So
broken.
Well, it's the government that's broken, isn't it, really?
100%. 100%. It's criminal what they've done to the NHS. It really
so I do really think like the work that you're doing with these podcasts and things is really, really important for people.
Thank you. It's really, I just felt that justice sensitivity is through the roof with me. And I was just I don't know what I can do, but I can bloody talk. So let's talk.
And that's what people need.
Yeah. You've mentioned impulsivity. Would you say now, sorry, hang on, let me backtrack 1 second. So you've gone sober and you still got some, antidepressant.
You're so ADHD, I love it.
I'll leave all this in as well. There's no shame. We're taking away the shame of symptoms. But what I wanted to ask you is, have you taken ADHD medication, or is that something that you do? Yeah.
I don't take it now. Well, I've had one today, but I'll come to that. So when I got diagnosed, I thought, this is it. It's going to be the magic pill. So the first ones that I had, I can never remember what they're called. It begins with an A, and I felt at peace. I was calm. I wasn't chewing my nails, all the like skin, but I just sat like that.
Yeah.
And I can't go on TV and work and do my job.
Zoned out. Yeah.
I just wasn't me. So I tried the next one, and the next one, oh my God, I was gnawing at my own. I didn't realize I was doing it. But I felt good. I felt good on them all. And then the third one, it was Elvance, but a really high dose. And you could see my implant wobbling, and I was erratic doing everything. And I was getting so much done. There was no burnout. And I kept trying to get hold of my psychiatrist saying, look, my implant's wobbling here. There's something not right. My fucking heart's going to explode. He just didn't get back to me. So anyway, and then I was at a photo shoot and I had a seizure. So I ended up in the back of, So I just came off them and had like 2 weeks in bed.
Oh my gosh, why did they put you on such a high dose? That's so dangerous.
I don't even think it was that. I don't think he realised how chaotic my life was with the drinking, the antidepressants, my impulsiveness of, I'll have a diazepam.
Perfect storm, I'm on Elvance and that has really worked for me very quickly. But then I was like, oh, well, this and this has gone, but actually I've still got this and this and this. So I'll go up and I'll go up. And as I went up, exactly like you said, I became a zombie.
Yeah.
And I was kind of dizzy and a bit robotic and emotionless. And then I was too afraid to go back to the doctors in case they told me that I had to stop taking it altogether because I was so worried I was going to end up. I sat on the sofa for 2 years and did fuck all, basically, Tanya. So I was like, I can finally think and do things. And
I've just seen a mad pie. I've just seen a mad pie at the window. Sorry, I know some pie today. So then I came back down to the right dose. Don't take my dopamine off me.
Please don't take it. But I suffered too much and then I omitted it, came down, and now I'm on the right dose and it does really, really help.
So what dose are you on?
I'm on 40.
Yeah.
So
my son is on 20 milligrams of Advocacy.
Yeah.
So it's not the medication at all, but my son, he's thriving. He was going to be let go by his football club. He kept losing focus in games and things, which you can't really do because he's signed to an academy. He's really good. And then when I got diagnosed, my mum said to the psychiatrist, Rocco is exactly the same. So he's on 20 milligrams of Elvance. Is it Elvance or Elvancy?
Elvance, that's how I say it. Anyway, I don't know. Yeah. That's what I say,
And now he's 14 years old and he's just got a scholarship. But they normally only get that at 15, 16. He's absolutely smashing it. He's captain. He's unbelievable.
That's amazing.
So I am, it's not like I'm against medication. I don't take it.
But it's to be taken seriously and handled with care is what you're saying.
You can't just live your chaotic life with all the chasing dopamine that you used to do, whether it be drugs, whether it be alcohol, and then just take this tablet and expect it all to... It's a concoction for fucking death, really.
It's a dangerous game. I did see somebody online posting about the fact that they always drink energy drinks because often we can feel quite knackered, actually, with all of the internal stuff going on. And they ended up in hospital and it's like, you are going to have to watch your caffeine intake as well as alcohol as anything else because, it's affecting your heart rate.
I've had that addiction as well. It was sort of like I was addicted to the feeling of being on the verge of a heart attack because I was like,
wired. Absolutely. So with that in mind, how do you get your dopamine? So we know that we have kind of faulty receptors or whatever it is, and we tend to have lower dopamine levels. So what do you do to increase your dopamine levels personally? For me, I've had to change my whole life. So I left the housewives. I go back as a guest. I've just been letting my ADHD just sort of live, coexisting with it. And if I'm tired, I can sleep. But I'm lucky that I can do that because not everyone can do that. So you mean you've accepted it? So you know that that's what you have. So you're letting yourself be ADHD effectively.
Yeah. And I've got all my own businesses. So if I'm feeling overstimulated, I can just put my eye mask on, my earplugs in, and I can go and sit in my bed because it's my businesses. Whereas not everyone can do that.
Absolutely.
So that's why the medication is good. But I think I am going to go back on the medication because I'm doing a lot of burnout miles in my bed. At the minute. So I'm trying 20 milligrams of Elvance today, but it's actually 50 milligrams. I've had to split it into two because there's none around.
Oh, absolutely. The medication shortage is something else.
Oh,
really.
God, I know.
Just when you get there. No,
just when you get there. I know.
Greetings from Planet ADHD AF, the online peer support community. If you're finding this podcast helpful and you are in a position to do so, I invite you to join us and become a member. For the cost of around just 2 takeaway coffees per month, membership gives you access to over 50 quid's worth of monthly support, including access to the private Discord server to connect with literally like-minded legends to lean on and learn from 24/7. Also, daily body doubling in all different time zones, Zoom chats supported by ADHD coaches, blogs, vlogs, accountability squads, self-care club, a monthly Zoom quiz, and more. Peer support is invaluable when coming to terms with a later in life diagnosis. Self-diagnosis is valid. I spent my life feeling like an alien, only to discover there's a whole planet of us. So you are not alone. Jump aboard the spaceship and join us on planet ADHD AF. When you were diagnosed, the actual process of it, was it easy? Did it happen quickly or was it slow for you? Because so many people are on waiting lists, obviously.
Yeah, I'm fighting for that. I went to the Parliament and I spoke with the board, like the health minister and everything. I told them my idea of what I wanted them to do.
What do you want them to do, Tanya? What do you want them to do?
So when you first go for your testing for ADHD, what I did anyway, it's a computer-based thing, isn't it? So there's up to 10-year waiting lists in some places.
I know.
You know when they do theory tests, I think that they can do a program where they can do a classroom full if they want to. People can wait for a one-to-one if they want, but they can do a classroom. So the first stage, so that they can whittle down and say, no, you haven't. Yes, you have. And it will almost half it, because there's people who are on that wait. So some people haven't got it, but some people have, and they're waiting up to 10 years. And 1 in 4 women end up taking their own lives, and 1 in 10 men end up taking their own lives. So the fact that they're just not doing anything is vile.
Tanya, this is literally why this podcast exists. I sat and I looked at it all, and I looked, and there are lots of charities doing amazing things. There really are.
Yes, there is.
However, I was like, who is making the change happen? How do we stop this? You know, I feel like personally, the pandemic, sorry, I've gone ranty. The pandemic showed us that actually you can change a plan very quickly. You don't have to do 10, 20 years of policy changing and lobbying to make something happen.
Yeah.
And actually, we are in a time of crisis, because exactly as you pointed out, those statistics, people need help yesterday, right?
Yeah.
They cannot wait 10 years.
No, the government are spending so much money on prisons. They think about 40% of people in prisons, young lads in gangs. With ADHD, were people pleasers. They don't have an anchor at home, so they're outside and they're vulnerable to gangs because they're people pleasers, and then they're going to end up in and they're impulsive. So with knives and stuff like that, if that's their surroundings, they're going to end up in prison. So my heart goes out to those little babies on the streets who are just undiagnosed ADHD and no support. And people with eating disorders spend so much money on that. They spend so much money on people with addiction. They spend so much money on people with eating disorders.
Well, why accidents, teenage pregnancy, divorce, everything. It's the money that's going into it, when people could get the help that they need, and that would cut down the impulsivity, the crime, the death, everything. Yeah, 100%.
So just start from the beginning, which it blows my mind. But did you see my video that I posted the other day of the Warwickshire councillors?
Yes.
And that's the people that we have in power making our decisions, where they literally just don't believe ADHD is a thing.
It's absolutely horrific times.
It's outdated. It's like dinosaurs. And honestly, I felt so mad. Like every single cell in my body was like raging.
Honestly, I started the Make It Count campaign in October last year to try and get the numbers together, because what we need is to have the actual stats.
Well, we've been trying to do that, and they hide them. And what they say is, it's each council, and so it's all different. They won't actually give you, because they don't know either. They don't care.
That's exactly it. They don't know or care. It isn't a priority. And with the awareness that's being raised, we don't have the same level of acceptance. So the more that people are aware of it and talking about it, the more that certain ableist people are saying that it's a trend and everyone's jumping on a bandwagon.
When I hear people saying, it's a woke trend, or everyone's a bit ADHD. Okay, right. You have this brain and you tell me that everyone's ADHD. Wow.
You couldn't write it. So they go into classrooms, and so then you could blanket screen people in one go, quickly and easily. That's your suggestion.
And even adults, they could be doing that as well.
Because that's what I think as well, is that there's no reason why, if you think about it, a lot of the comorbidities are mental health conditions, right? So OCD, insomnia, etc., all of these different things. My thinking is, if anybody needs to go and speak to a doctor about any of those things that could potentially be co-occurring conditions of ADHD, then they just have a little blanket screen questionnaire type thing, 6 questions, something tiny to screen it and put it in something else. And actually, with the NHS being so overstretched, then wouldn't it make sense to take all of this away from GPs?
Yeah.
Couldn't we have something else that's like I don't know, a disused building? We put stuff up in the pandemic, right? Put people together and be like, right, all of you people come in here now and we'll just get it done, get it done.
All the places where they do theory tests for driving.
Exactly.
It's not hard. But they're just making it so hard. And I do think when they go private and stuff like that, they make so much money. Like for Rocco, I have to pay $200. So I paid £2,000 for Rocco to get diagnosed, and I have to pay £250 a month to the psychiatrist for the prescription, and then his tablets are $85 on top. So that's a lot. So people can't afford that.
Nobody. It's literally a privilege or a postcode lottery. That's it. It
makes my fucking eyes water. Like. So when I got diagnosed, I think it cost me I think it was $5,000 because I went to see him for anxiety specialist.
Yeah.
I had to pay that psychiatrist £450 per month just for the prescription.
Wow.
And then my tablet's $95 on top. How do you, that's a fucking mortgage.
It literally is. It literally is. And the thing, for me, I was on the waiting list for the NHS 3 years. And then I managed to get private assessment through my husband's work. So it's a total privilege. And just like that, it happened. Just like that. And luckily, I don't have to pay for medication. I'm in Scotland and shared care and all the rest of it. But that's why it makes me so mad, because without being too depressing, Tanya, I nearly wasn't here either. So it's like, here I am. And just like that, a privilege, I can access all of that stuff. It's like, right, well, I need to do something because I've been very lucky here, and people out there are not going to be so lucky.
I've listened. I get hundreds of thousands of messages about it, and they're heartbreaking. I have to stop reading some of them. So, a couple of single moms, and they're going into debt because their teenage son is impulsive and he can't live with him, and the anger outbursts, and she's on her own, and so she can't afford it. But she's having to find this money just
to save their life and the quality of life.
To save their life, and or to stop them going to prison. It breaks my heart. It's fucking awful.
Is. It's absolutely criminal what's going on. But thank goodness you're on it. We're on it.
We're on it. Yeah, and so many people are on it. I've met so many amazing moms. Yeah, it's just awful.
So, with that being said, obviously, as a mum, so you've got more than one child. Is that right? How many children?
4.
Got 4 kids. Wow.
Yes. Yeah.
Amazing. Bloody hell, you are busy.
Oh God, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So is there anything that you would like to say to mums? Like, I'm sure there's loads of things, but that's not something that I'm versed in. So I'm sure there's so many listeners that have kids that are ADHD themselves or that have ADHD. Is there anything that you would like to say to them?
Just that it's not your fault, because I know I struggled in the beginning I felt guilty because I was like, I've done something, like, why? Oh, I passed on my ADHD to him, but it's not your fault. And I think it's so much more common than people realize. I think a lot of people are neurodiverse, but mask it better than others. That's all.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, do you mean to tell me it isn't all blue Smarties and fizzy drinks then? It's actually a real thing.
Yeah.
Shame on you.
Yeah.
It's terrible, isn't it?
Just so badly behaved. Yeah.
So what advice would you give, like, as a mum to your kids who also has ADHD? How do you cope with that?
Sorry, what was the question? I zoned out.
Sorry. No, well, I think I went around the houses as well, just for a change. Do you have any advice as a mother? So that's to support yourself in it, knowing that it's not your fault. What about to your children? How can you support them while still having ADHD? What's your top tip, really?
For my children with ADHD?
Yeah.
Or just the awareness of it, and just that they're a good person and they've got like a Ferrari brain and they just need to strengthen the brakes. That's just because what I heard from a doctor, that ADHD is like having a Ferrari brain, but bicycle brakes. And sometimes, like, if Rocco's kicking off, I go, put the brakes on, get the brakes on, which means go into his room and self-regulate. And if you're feeling overwhelmed, or like people clicking or chewing, or, oh my God, he kicks off if I've got an ice lolly, because it can, our sense of hearing, it obviously is like, oh, I'm just like, it's all right, mate. So when he used to kick off, his dad used to go, oh, so leave him alone. I was like, just leave him. It's just, his emotions are just dysregulated. And I go, Rocco, it's all right. Just go and regulate. It's fine.
That's fantastic. That analogy is so good, actually, isn't it? The Ferrari brain is brilliant. Go and put the brakes on. I love it. I love it. And how do they feel about it? Because obviously what you're talking about is harnessing the strengths, identifying the struggles, and helping them to feel supported in that, and that's okay.
Yeah. And I like it when celebrities talk about it, because like a rapper rapped about having his ADHD, and that made Rocco. He's cool now. So everyone who can talk about it, so obviously if I say I've got it, he doesn't want something I've got. It's like, oh God, what was I going to say? I've fucking gone. My head's gone. I send him success stories of people with ADHD who have channeled it.
What about your support network? Have the people around you been accepting of your ADHD?
I mean, it took a long time, but now I tell them, say, like, I'm just going to my bedroom, I'm going cocooning. I say, I'm off to cocoon, and they realise that they're getting on my nerves.
It's time out. It's time for a time out.
Because the noise just sort of starts getting bigger and bigger, and I can hear my mum. Oh my God, my mum is the worst person to be around. We've got ADHD. She stirs a tea and hits every side of glass, and my mum.
Don't. I can't even cope with it.
And so she goes, Ma. Like,
my dad does it. Like, he looks for things in drawers, but with his hands. So it's like, just look with your eyes. Why is everything clashing? Stop it. It drives me insane.
Yeah.
What do you think? Is there a particular misconception about ADHD that you would like to bust?
Yes, that it's about, oh God, I can't think of the word. The ADHD means lack of intelligence, which is not. It is not that at all. In fact, some of the most intelligent people in the world, it's not about that at all.
It's not about intelligence at all. Absolutely. And is there anything else you would like the listeners to know? We spoke specifically about motherhood. Is there any other pearl from Tanya to treasure that you would like to tell everybody? Because most of these people that are listening, a lot of them will likely be on a waiting list and having to self-diagnose and lean into the community for support because they can't access it any other way.
Yeah. What I would do is write down my daily habits and routine. Routine for me is key. If I don't have routine, I have devastation, I have chaos. So as soon as I wake up, I have my earphones there and I put on a meditation, positive thinking. So guide my brain into that way. If I can get my brain, if it goes negative and I get on that hyper focus on that negative thing, everyone hates me, or I've got loads of trolls at the minute going, what have you done to your face? And I keep finding myself like looking at my face going, wah. So wake up, and the world is full of brainwashing everywhere. So you've got to be in charge of your own brainwashing. So
wash your own brain.
Wash your own brain. So choose what you focus on, who you hang around with, what you watch. Don't watch the news.
I don't.
Affirmations, all that type of thing. Brainwash your own brain. Like, I have a little book and I'll read out my affirmations or little things nice people have said about me or good things about me, or scripts what I want to happen in my life. But just loads of 10-minute meditation on Google.
Positive.
Start straight away. Exercise. So I hate exercise. Really, really hate it.
But I love it when I'm doing it, but I can't get motivated to do it. And then every time I'm doing it, I'm like, oh, she liked this. What was the big deal? It's taken me 2 weeks to motivate myself.
Yeah. I went for a run, and I'm not a runner, in the rain for the first time ever. It took me till I was 42. Oh my God. The dopamine hit.
You feel good,
it was incredible. Better than any Jaeger bombs or diazepam. It was amazing. So I'm going to do that again. Exercise and just try and watch what you eat. But again, with kids, I always say, oh, well, he's got ADHD. What's his diet like? I say, listen, he's a kid. He likes beige foods. I can't. He won't eat a broccoli. Have you tried giving him these pumpkin seeds and this and that? No, he's a fucking teenager. Tell him to Frick off.
I can't even eat the fucking pumpkin seeds, love.
I don't even know why I said pumpkin seeds, because I don't think they do anything really good for ADHD, but you know what I mean.
No, I know exactly what you mean. It's brilliant that you said that, actually, because my next question is about glimmers. So I've been trying to be mindful of the micro joys in my day, in my week, those little glimmers. So do you have a glimmer that you would like to share from today or even this week? Something that stands out, a little micro joy?
So my glimmer, so I do my gratitude list. I forgot to say that most
Do you start
mornings.
your day with that?
Yeah. And I try to do it every day. So, and it's always like waking up next to my husband. Still can't believe someone married me, and he's beautiful. He's stunning. I love him.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah. Just sort of my kids. I mean, they freaking annoy me, but I love them. I love the bones on them. Yeah.
Oh, that's lovely. What is the most ADHD thing you've done either this week, today, or a story that stands out? What is the most ADHD thing?
Okay, so the most ADHD thing that I've done this week is my impulsiveness. I fucking slid into the Prime Minister's DMs.
Did you?
Yeah, and I sent him a big long rant.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah,
Tanya means business.
Yeah. And Mum was like, "Oh God!" And so I just slid into the Prime Minister's DMs. No fucks given. No thought process. Right, Richie.
Deserves it. I want to speak to the manager. Absolutely.
Yeah. I'm sick of trying to speak to MPs. I'm going to the top.
Did you get through? Did it get recognized?
No, he ghosted me. But I'm going to keep trying.
Absolutely. Do you know what I've done? I asked a community. So I've got an online community, and I asked for any extra questions that they thought I should add to the repertoire. And I actually forgot to write it down. So I'm chuffed I just remembered. If your ADHD was a song, what song would it be? It's a good question, isn't it?
It's a really good question.
Mine is, for the moment anyway, because it'll change. But mine yesterday, when I thought of it, was Satisfaction by the Stones. Because it's always like, I'm trying, and I can't quite get it. And this person's telling me this and that, and I don't get it. Yeah.
Yeah. What's that song? The Jungle in my head or something?
My head is a jungle.
Yeah.
I love it. That is perfect.
That's me. Perfect. Yeah.
Tanya, is there anything else that we haven't covered that you'd like to talk about?
I think that's it. My throat's dry. I'm going to have to go and be cocooning now for a bit.
I know, I'm a lot. I'm sorry,
No,
Tanya.
You're not. I know it's me. I've babbled. You are not. You're perfect. You're amazing. I mean, I've just babbled out so many words.
Yeah, we have. We've just ranted at each other. It's been fantastic.
I love it.
Thank you ever so much. I've absolutely loved it. Thank you.
Thank you.
And how's that for a most ADHD thing? How good is that? I cannot even express how much I love it. I am so, so grateful to Tanya. She is such a ledge. Just like, I need a word. Oi, Prime Minister, I need a word. And actually, all of us need a word, right? Because there is a surprise general election in July, and we all need to be registered to vote by, I believe it's June the 18th. Please go and do it. I know how disempowered we can all feel by lying politicians who only want to line their pockets and just tread on us all and run everything and everyone into the ground. And we can all feel so powerless in it, but you are not powerless. You matter. Your voice matters. And if we all unite and use our voices, we can make change happen. So please register to vote. I'm going to talk more about that in another episode. But just thank you so, so much to Tanya. I just want to touch on one little thing, just because I would hate for it to be misconstrued and for anybody to feel in any way hurt, or for anyone's experience to not feel validated. As I say, every single episode in some way, shape or form, we are all different, and ADHD affects us all differently. So Tanya pointed out that she thinks that we should all get our foundations right before we try ADHD medication. Now, at the time, I totally understood what she was saying in the context of what she was saying. So Tanya said she was addicted to this feeling like she was having a heart attack or something, So what I took from what she meant was that we need to be careful when we're on ADHD medication, which is absolutely right. We do. That's why we have to have blood pressure checks and to be drinking heavily and taking recreational drugs alongside ADHD medication. Absolutely. That's really dangerous, as is, not looking after ourselves, not sleeping, not eating, etc. However, as many of you, like me, will know, actually, the ADHD medication is the stepping stone. It is the crutch to lean on that has helped many of us to break cycles of behavior, that has helped us to overcome commonly co-occurring conditions. So if you are a person who can't just stop drinking, or that needs medication to hold your hand to get you through, and it's not a case of one before the other, I come with you. ADHD diagnosis and treatment not only changed, but it saved my life. I literally wouldn't have been able to just stop the behavior. Oh, right, I'm just going to stop being depressed now. I'm just going to stop hating myself, and I'm just going to stop these patterns of self-sabotage and self-abuse in all of its forms, and just get myself sorted first so that I can take the medication. I had to take the medication in order to be able to get sorted. So I just wanted you to know that if that is also your experience, although it is different to Tanya's, we are all different, and I share your experience. So please feel validated in that you are not alone. But as I say, this is a platform in which it is known and understood that ADHD presents differently in all people. And I'm so grateful to Tanya for sharing her unique experience here with us. And I cannot wait to meet this legend in person. Honestly, I love talking to Tanya so much. She's like, you are so ADHD. I'm like, yes, babe, tricks in the title. Love her, love her. Cannot wait to see her at Flaxstock Festival. I hope to see you all there. I cannot believe to have gone from a half an hour bingo segment in that tent last year to have the whole tent for the entire festival, to be curating a whole host of amazing speakers, including Tanya, to have amazing DJs like Her House, my Bells of the Ball doing karaoke and Vogue workshops. I've got a community legend doing a burlesque workshop. I've got all sorts going on all day, alongside Steph of All the Discos, curating all of the fantastic designers who are part of ADHD AF Emporium, which is an online marketplace in support of neurodivergent makers and small businesses, creatives, which, if you want to be part of, you can actually join. You can apply to join. There's a link to an application form in the blurb of this episode. And in any case, I really hope to see you at Flaxstock, because it is such an honour. It is such an honour to be part of such a special event in celebration of Caroline Flack, supporting her favourite charities and raising crucial mental health awareness. To be able to raise ADHD awareness there just means the absolute world. And I cannot wait. So excited. So thank you again to Tanya. Thank you to everybody for all of your feedback on this Not Season 3 and my weird strategy to hack my own self-sabotage and push through. It's not been easy. I really realised that I have been in a really dark place since Dawn stepped down. I have really, really struggled to keep my head up. I've struggled to find my way forward on my own. I'm still struggling with the social media, to be honest. I hate it. I hate it. I really struggled to do it and just be front facing on my own. But onwards I plough, because I will fight for this cause. I believe in what I'm fighting for. I believe that if we unite together, we can push for change. We can make change happen. And change happening, lives literally depend on it. They really, really do. So again, please do register to vote. And if you have enjoyed this episode, please do hit those stars, share it on social media or with anyone in your life, with the postman, whoever, just share it, please. There are so many more ADHD podcasts now than there were when I started, and that's wonderful. But I'd also like to keep going and not get lost in it all, because I absolutely love doing this. I love this community. And yeah, I've got more to report on the charity very, very soon. But for now, I would like to share with you a most ADHD thing from, and it's Kieran. I know his name is Kieran. I'm 99.9% sure his name is Kieran, from the Bristol show. So people-pleasing Kieran is not just a people-pleaser that would let his own kitchen burn down rather than be rude on a work call and end it quickly. Kieran also nearly got mugged on the streets of Bristol. And instead of handing over his wallet, as he was instructed, his impulsivity and lack of risk perception made him burst into interpretive street theatre. Literally improvised the mugging situation that was happening to him right then and there. He acted it back out to the mugger in the street, to the point the mugger was just so confused that he ran away. Oh my God, Kieran, what a ledge. I had to share that. But unfortunately, I don't know what his handle is because his card is still in my RSD2 bum bag, which is God knows where. But if you're listening, Kieran, I salute you. Let me know your handle and I will tag you. My final thoughts are auditory processing corner. I have to share this corker with you because it's also tour related. So at the end of the RSD2 segment, we sing Masayoki, I'm a Dreamer, Live in Joy, Rave Anthem. And I realized that for the entirety of knowing that song, I've been singing the lyric, Jesus, hold me down and never leave me. And that most definitely isn't the lyric. However, in my defense, when that song came out, I was a Catholic schoolgirl, likely dancing to it at youth club in a church hall. So at least there's some kind of context, but obviously now in hindsight, that is not the lyric, but it's a very good example of auditory processing disorder. Do share yours with me if you've got any auditory processing corkers, because they are so amusing. And do share with me your thoughts on this episode. I've had so much wonderful feedback about these first couple of episodes of Not Season 3. But I've had a hell of a lot of feedback about the chinwag with my wonderful friend, Kim Pierpoint, midlife empowerment coach. Thank you so much for all of your feedback on that. It was a hard episode to put out. I really appreciate all of your support. So if you would like to continue the support of this podcast, if you want this podcast to continue, please do share it. Please do hit those stars. Please do share any social media content. Just get it out and about because I'm really struggling and getting lost here. And I'm literally losing the wheel with social media. So I'm getting a bit lost back here, but I love it. And I love connecting with you all. And I hope to connect with you all at one of the last 2 Alien Nation live shows at Margate Arts Club and at Comedia Brighton. I'm so excited for both those shows. And we've actually got a little community camping trip booked around it as well, which is very, very exciting. So do get in touch and join the community via the link in the blurb for future in-person events. All community members get first dibs and discounts on all events. And we have meetups as part of the community. And I'd love to chat to you there. All genders welcome. No diagnosis necessary. Self-diagnosis is valid. You are valid. You are appreciated. And together we can make change happen. So, ready to vote? Share your thoughts, share this episode, and please know how very much appreciated you are. We are all in this together. And yeah, I'll stop talking now. Big love and gratitude. Bye-bye.